Welcome to Lesson 11 in mySci's Unit 8, Putting on a Show with Light and Sound. In this lesson, students will answer the question, what do you need to have in order to make a shadow? Students figure out that some materials allow light to pass through them. Others only allow some light to pass through them. And other materials block all light, and they create a dark shadow on any surface beyond them, where the light cannot reach. In the engage portion of this lesson, you'll start off with a conversation by asking students, what is a shadow? Allow students to turn and talk, and then take a few answers. Remind students how in the last lesson they made shadows with their hands, and then brainstorm ideas of what other objects you could use to make shadows with. In the explore portion of this lesson, you're going to ask the class, what are 3 things you need to make a shadow? If students aren't confident when saying light source, light blocker, and surface, that's okay at this point. You'll need to get the index card, scissors, tape, and craft sticks from the mySci kit for this activity. The class is going to make shadow puppets with the index cards and the craft sticks, so have them cut out a shape in the index cards and tape it to the craft stick. Give students flashlights and allow them to explore how to make shadows with their puppets. As students are exploring, ask them questions to have them start identifying the light source, the light blocker, and the surface in their shadow. In the explain portion of this lesson, you'll ask the class, what do you need to make a shadow? Ask the students to describe what happened when they were using their puppet with their flashlight. Then, in teams of 2, have the students take out the student journal page, Shadows. On the student journal page, students will need to label the 3 parts needed to make the shadow, the light blocker, the light source, and the surface, and then they'll need to draw and label their layout that they use to make their shadow with their craft sticks and paper. In the elaborate portion of this lesson, students are going to explore the meaning of the words opaque, transparent, and translucent. Hold up one of the shadow puppets made of an index card. Explain to students that an index card is opaque, meaning light can't pass through it. Pose the question, what do you think will happen if we made a puppet out of transparent material? Show students examples of transparent materials, and then pass out the clear sheets of plastic found in the mySci kit and have them make a transparent puppet. Give students time to explore their transparent puppet and to make observations about what happens when they pass light through it. See if they can come to the conclusion that transparent means light will pass through that material. You'll then pass out wax paper. Tell students that this paper is translucent. Ask students, what do you think translucent means? Allow students time to predict what they think will happen when you try to pass light through the translucent wax paper. Students will create a puppet using waxed paper and then pass light through it. Hopefully they will come to the conclusion that translucent material allows some light to pass through it. Finally, you'll pass out aluminum foil. Ask students, what will happen if we make a shadow puppet with aluminum foil? Explain that foil is reflective and can be used like a mirror to reflect light and change the direction of a beam of light. Have students create puppets with the foil and explain what they saw. In the evaluate portion of this lesson, you'll ask students a series of questions. Start by comparing and contrasting the different puppets they made. How is their transparent puppet different than their translucent puppet, different than their opaque puppet when it comes to making shadows? How are all of these puppets different from the aluminum foil puppet? And then finally, ask them what is needed to make a shadow. You're looking that students understand what transparent, opaque, and translucent mean, and that they can identify the things needed to make a shadow, the light source, the surface, and the light blocker. By the end of this lesson, students will have answered the question, what do you need to have in order to make a shadow? By exploring the puppets they've made, students have demonstrated that light, an object, and a surface are all needed to make shadows. They've also gotten practice making puppets for their puppet show.